start with that opening,
Yep.
and then your first question.
Okay.
My parents met in the hospital where both of their first spouses were being treated for leukemia. And both of their first spouses died. And through their grief process, they befriended each other and came together, and they wound up having me and getting married. And when I was 10, I was diagnosed with leukemia. And so I was on chemotherapy. I'd gone back to school, so I was at school again. And my music teacher gave me an audition slip for Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. It was like the national tour, it was coming to town, and they were auditioning kids for the children's chorus. So it was later that afternoon, I'm laying in the hospital bed, literally getting new blood pumped into me, and I pulled out this audition slip, and I said, "Mom, will you call and schedule an audition?" And she just broke down and said, "You can't do this. How could you go to rehearsals? You can't do this."
Really?
Mm-hmm. And I got angry and I made her call. And so she called, she scheduled the audition, and sure enough, I made it to the next round of auditions. And then I made it to the next round of auditions. And then they had this big workshop where the directors came from New York and this whole big thing. And by that point, all of my hair had fallen out.
That's insane.
And so I did this whole day of workshopping, and like the people from New York were like, "You know, you can wear a hat on stage." We're like, "Well," and I was like, "Yeah, I can."
Because you booked it.
Because I booked it. And so I was going to school in 5th grade and, you know, stopping at the hospital to get an IV treatment and then going to these rehearsals until 11 at night and, you know, going to the bathroom to be sick. And like, it was keeping me alive in a way.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I'm sure that's probably what eventually got you to remission. Like, you were still living. Like, you were not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that definitely extended to like knowing what I wanted to do and just making that happen.
Yeah.
You know, no is only a thing if you make it a thing. And it definitely, it shaped me.